We are about to start our webinar today. Assalamu alaikum, good evening. আবারও স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি সবাইকে অসাম আগস্ট ব্যানারের 4th ওয়েবিনারে। আমি এলিজা আছি আপনাদের সাথে ফ্রম উইমেন ইন অ্যাজাইল বাংলাদেশ কমিউনিটি থেকে। আমাদের সাথে আরো আছেন রাখি ভাই ফ্রম ম্যানেজমেন্ট 3.0 বাংলাদেশ কমিউনিটি থেকে, এবং অবভিয়াসলি জাফর ভাই এবং তৌফিক ভাই আছেন অ্যাজাইল বাংলাদেশের পক্ষ থেকে। This is not only our local community, but all 4 communities are part of our international board. Sponsor হিসেবে আরো আছেন আমাদের সাথে হুয়াই ক্লাউড আর লার্নিভো as our learning partner. আমাদের মিটআপ গ্রুপের লিংক গুলো অলরেডি আপনারা চ্যাট বক্সে পেয়ে গেছেন, and don't forget to join our meetup group to know our upcoming session. আমাদের আগের ওয়েবিনার সেই সাথে আজকের ওয়েবিনার রেকর্ডেড ওয়েবিনার গুলো পেতে হলে অবশ্যই আপনারা লার্নিভো ইউটিউব চ্যানেলে সাবস্ক্রাইব করবেন। আমরা যথাসময়ে আজকের ওয়েবিনারও গ্রুপে লার্নিভো চ্যানেলে আপলোড করে দিব। আমাদের আজকের ওয়েবিনার আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স এন্ড মেশিন লার্নিং এর উপর ফ্যাসিলিটেটেড ভাই নাইম আহমেদ ভাই। আমরা অনেকেই জানি, তারপরেও জানিয়ে দিচ্ছি ওয়েবিনার সাজানো হয়েছে 2 ভাগে। ফার্স্ট পার্ট আজকের ওয়েবিনার and last part 10 minutes will be our quiz section. In between this section we have 10 minutes break. আপনাদের কোনো ধরনের কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে অবশ্যই চ্যাট বক্সে দিয়ে দিবেন, আমাদের ফ্যাসিলিটেটর যথাসময়ে সেটা আনসার দেওয়ার ট্রাই করবে। আমি আরো একটা ব্যাপারে ক্লিয়ার করতে চাই, সেটা হলো আমাদের ওয়েবিনারে আসলে কোনো ধরনের কোনো সার্টিফিকেট প্রোভাইড করা হয় না, বাট ইট ডাজন্ট মিন দ্যাট আপনারা আসলে এখান থেকে খালি হাতে ফিরে যাবেন। হুয়াই ক্লাউড এবং লার্নিভোর পক্ষ থেকে আছে প্রাইজ ফর আওয়ার টপ 5 পার্টিসিপেন্ট। সো যারা আমাদের মিটআপ গ্রুপে জয়েন করবেন, সেই সাথে কুইজের টপ 5 স্কোরার যারা, তাদের জন্য প্রযোজ্য আসলে। and কুইজের রুলস গুলো যথাসময়ে জানিয়ে দেওয়া হবে। and আমাদের হুয়াই ক্লাউডের পক্ষ থেকে আমাদের সাথে আছেন নাজমুল ভাই। নাজমুল ভাই, আর ইউ দেয়ার?
জি, এলিজা আপু, গুড আফটারনুন এভরিওয়ান। এলিজা আপু, আমাকে শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ জি।
তৌফিক ভাই আমাকে একটু কাইন্ডলি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করার তো আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আজকের সেশনে, and very warm afternoon to you, evening to you in fact. So I've been in a class since afternoon. I just joined from the class, so I hope I'm audible to everybody. Please let me know if you have any issues.
Nazmul bhai, you can share your screen right now. And
right,
as we have a few foreigners in our session, so we will conduct this session in English so that it will be easily communicable or audible for everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. So Tawfiq bhai, can you see the screen now? The shared screen?
Yep.
Great. So yes, I'm a bit late to join. Sorry about that. So I hope Eliza Apu has already given you some...
বাংলায় করার জন্য অনুরোধ করছি। সেশনটা বাংলায় করার জন্য অনুরোধ করছি, যেহেতু আমরা ম্যাক্সিমাম বাঙালি।
Maximum Bangali, but fortunately we have some friends from abroad as well. So I hope everybody will understand some form of English, and actually the slides itself are in English anyway. So yes, some communication will be back and forth. If there is any deep questions, of course, I hope we can explain in both languages, don't worry. But my part is very, very small and quick, so I will actually get on with it. In fact, I think Eliza Apu has already given some idea about the program flow. So since it's there, let me just go through it very quickly once more. And the idea is that we'll have an introduction, which Eliza Apu has already given. And now, after that, I'll take on 7-8 minutes to go take you through this cloud brief. And basically after that, we will invite our today's guest speaker, Nayeem Ahmad bhai. And he will continue for the first session, and then we'll have a break, and we'll follow up after the break another similar session, and at the end there will be a quiz and award that we have been doing in the last few cases. So well, at this point actually I was supposed to come in, so I'm here, and the idea is that I'll take you through some of what Huawei has been doing in AI and machine learning, right? So to really focus on to what we are doing with all that, like AI and machine learning is just part of, what we're doing as a company. And basically what we're doing is, let me shut down the sound. Yeah. So what we're doing as a company, not only AI and machine learning, we have so many other things to offer, but primarily our focus is to bring digital to every person, home, and organization, and to make it a fully connected, intelligent Bangladesh. So, and how we do that is, let's take our lives as an example, and I hope many of us here in the session today can relate to this. All these gadgets, all these boxes and stuff you see here, the stuff, and now everything actually fits inside in your hand, right? One of these devices, I don't know, maybe a couple of devices, maybe you need a wearable something, but all these things are now very much inside your pocket, or you can carry it. You don't have to carry all these 20 different gadgets. And how they're operating is basically, we will see one example here. Let's say about listening to music. And well, it has been the case, we have been going through all these different kind of uh, technical revolutions, or you can say just evolution from one uh, type of listening to music to another. And all these things are actually culminating to now into, we are calling this neural network or machine learning, AI, all this. So you can think about all this, different eras of technical development. So we are moving from one kind of technology to another kind of technology, and we are evolving into a new kind of dimension. So right now, what is possible using AI and machine learning is, this last one you see here. So this is kind of like a neural network. There is an OpenAI project actually, and they're actually called OpenAI. You can go and search it. What they have done is they have made their machine learn 400 different composers over the year. Let's say they have fed the Beethoven's music or Mozart's music, and then also they put Backstreet Boys or maybe Adele, or I don't know, many total 400 composers over the last 200 years. They put in this algorithm, so the algorithm learns all this. And then you can actually say, okay, I want to use something. I want to create something new that will follow the Mozart's, way of progress into from, they call it quattro. I don't know the music theory. Maybe some of you know. So use that kind of algorithm to create, this beat and that kind of musical instrument. So that kind of analysis and AI techniques are now available, and people are doing this using practically these three different aspects. So you need some sort of a pipe to connect the cloud where the algorithm resides. You have somewhere in the cloud, you put your algorithm, the AI and machine learning is there. And then there are some smart devices, maybe your phone, maybe, you are speaking to something. So all that things are actually transferring, connecting you to the cloud. So as a company, we are actually building all that, the cloud native infra and applications. People maybe know us only as device manufacturers. Some of you may know us as a technology supplier to these pipe companies like Rubik, GP, Bangalink, Teletalk. But actually, we are more than that. We are now also doing AI, machine learning, and cloud. On the cloud, actually, we are doing all these different kind of technologies. So we do that using our proprietary, technologies such as, so we have our own chipset, and we are using our own R&D. We are on the top 5 list in R&D in the world, and we are developing our own technology in terms of Huawei Cloud. So what we are doing over the years is with our operation in 160 plus countries, and with R&D heavy operation. We have more than 80,000 people working on new projects, new products, and more than 5,000 are actually dedicatedly working for cloud in the last 2-3 years. So actually, I will cut short on these slides. This is not, that important. We are number 2 now in China and globally number 6. We are way behind the elephant in the room, AWS. But let me show you actually how we are achieving this. When I talked about, the chipsets, they come in, as our primary arsenal. We're using our own chipset. We're using our own devices. Some of these devices, maybe about our servers, our firewalls, all this stuff we are selling to the big cloud providers. Before Mr. Trump actually started all this, fight, we were the prime suppliers for Azure and also AWS. AWS, more than 39% of their network was built by Huawei. And in fact, currently, Alibaba, they are the number 3 in the world. 70% of their network is built by Huawei, using Huawei's hardwares. So we have a lot of experience on this part. We have a lot of experience in this part. And in the middleware also, we have our own middleware. We call it the Fusion Sphere. Finally, our last 30 years of experience actually comes onto the application layer. We have built applications in China and many other countries over the globe. Almost 130 countries we have deployed cloud for governments, and of course for the operators we are deploying since 2010-11. In Bangladesh also I joined a few projects like Grameenphone and Teletalk, Rubik, to deploy cloud for them. But what I am able to tell you is that we are still driven a lot by the hardware, and we are winning continuously the last 7-8 years in terms of hardwares like storage. We are at the top. Firewalls, we are at the top. And of course, today's session is about AI. So we also got the very prestigious award earlier this year in January, for the Atlas 900 AI cluster. Atlas is actually one of our chipsets. Here is part of the Ascent line. We have 2 lines, Kunpeng and Ascent. And there is another one which is for ARM chipset, that is what we call Taishan. But the Atlas cluster for AI, I believe Naeem Bhai is going to talk about cluster AI operation today. So we won the award for through our Atlas ecosystem. You can check more about this later. So let me show you actually what I mean when I say we are doing AI-based application. Let me take you to a very quick demonstration. I don't know where I kept it, but it's somewhere there. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So you can see this. This is actually running on the cloud. It's not running on my PC. It's huaweicloud.com. You can check it. EI experience space. So there, if you go, you'll find that there is some demo here. This is running real time in our cloud. So what I'll do is I'll just upload a picture from my PC. So let's say I have from my PC, I have some pictures. Let me know if it is boring. I just want to show you some, how real time it is. So now we are actually just uploading this picture, this random picture. And then the machine is actually comparing it with this previous experience and trying to understand what this picture is about, right? This is the image processing. It does take some time because, it's not like a business scenario. It's more like a demonstration, but you can try it later also. The point of this is actually today in the talks, we're going to learn a lot about it. It's like in a traditional way, when we are doing some data analysis, we use formulas, we use known methods. But in this case, the algorithm that I'm feeding this to doesn't have any idea what I'm going to feed them to. So it will try, with best guess. So that is what artificial intelligence and machine learning is about, that you learn with all these different kind of data and then try to come up with the answer, that what it is. So unfortunately, it is taking too long. Let me check the VPN connectivity. But meanwhile, I will actually have a very quick, I have to move on. Let me come back to it once it is done. It seems it's quite slow at the moment. Anyway, so what we are going to learn today is part of a long process. We are now in our fourth week with LEARNIVO, and before that also we are working with our partners. You see the pictures here is actually earlier this January we had some programs with our partners. This was about knowledge sharing, and we talked about what the cloud can do. We also have some customers now in Bangladesh. Maybe IFAD, multi-products, and also we are working with several other educational organizations through, we are delivering some things like similar to Zoom. So they're using that for their classes. But without further ado, it seems my AI algorithm is still struggling. So we'll come back to it right now. So it's just able to give you some answers, right? That what this picture actually means. So it's in Chinese. I have to really do a Google Translate. Oh, it's a lost cause. I have to get rid of the VPN. But I guess I'm just boring you guys. Just one moment to have a go at this. Yeah, so you can see just it took some time, yes, but we have some idea about this is an aircraft, this is a military aircraft, and then more it goes on more to talk about this picture. And we can try very quickly another picture. And the point is that it's just about how accurate it is, and the more information we feed it to, the more accurate it becomes. So, well, it's a bit laggy for some reason, but let me take you to the session today, and I would request Naeem bhai to really start our session today. And thank you for your time in advance, and we are really happy to learn from you today.
Great. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Great. Give me a second before I can share my. Okay. My screen is visible, right? Do you see the screen, anyone?
Yes, we can see this.
Great, thank you. Thank you. So, thanks everyone for joining, and I must thank LEARNIVO, Agile Tour Bangladesh, Management 3.0, Women in Agile, and Voy Cloud for coordinating to arrange such a great session. So the way I want to start is by telling two stories. One is a company named Bluedot. It's a Canadian company offering health monitoring platform. And many of you may have already heard about this company. So this company did something very interesting regarding coronavirus that we're going through right now, the pandemic. The World Health Organization basically notified the public regarding the outbreak in China in January 9th. If you can remember, it's already 7-8 months. And United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they got the word a little earlier, no? January 6th. And this company, Bluedot, had beaten them both, sending word of the outbreak to its customers on December 31st, of course, 2019, and the other two in 2020. So this is a company. How did they do this? Basically, Bluedot uses an AI-driven algorithm that takes information from different sources like foreign language news reports, animal and plant disease networks, and official different announcements. And they have a client base, and they alert their clients regarding any dangerous infectious disease spread, the one that happened to Wuhan. So this is an interesting story, that using machine learning and artificial intelligence, how data can be used to alert us regarding some imminent dangerous happening incidents. So, and in this case especially, we know that how much useful it would be for us if we could have been informed a little earlier. So many countries went through very, very difficult times, and still many countries are struggling due to the lack of readiness and other things. So this is an interesting incident that happened with Bluedot, the AI-driven company. So regarding coronavirus and this pandemic, the number one, AI and machine learning was used in detection of the virus. So at first, this pattern was detected by Bluedot, the AI-driven company, and also diagnosing the disease. Basically, as this is a new disease, diagnosing was not very easy. And all the standards, all the details was not finalized yet. So in diagnosis also, machine learning was being used. Based on the different records available, the machine learning algorithm giving more and more accurate result based on different readings. And then variation detection. We know that this COVID-19, this virus, coronavirus, has many variations. And every variation has its own nature and attributes. The coronavirus in the South Asia region is not same as the one in Europe. The one in US may be again different. The one in China is again different. So for every variation, their behavior is different, and the way to fight the virus is also different. So the same thing cannot apply to them all. So the variation can be detected using machine learning, right? Another is the relevant factor identification. That is, when should I suspect that someone has caught coronavirus? If we go to test everyone, then it will be very costly, it will be very slow. So we need to identify some factors based on which we can assume that this person, this individual is suffering from coronavirus. Then we do testing and we get the confirmed result. But before that, we depend on few factors for deciding whom to test first. And then drug and vaccine development. We know that a lot of races going on to drug development, vaccine development, and some are already announcing dates. How much effective they will be, that's a separate question. But artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are being used extensively in drug and vaccine development. And before using AI machine learning, basically, we had to develop different drugs and try that out in real world. Now by using machine learning, artificial intelligence, we can try out that in simulated environment without applying that to the real patient, real human being. So it's a great achievement for the healthcare world. And also maintaining the healthcare operations, like disinfecting the whole world where the COVID-19 patients are being treated, right? So disinfecting, using robot to hand over the drug or food to the patient. This type of things can be handled using machine learning. Another story I want to share with you, one company named Plenty. So this company is San Francisco based vertical greenhouse company. So they work on vertical farming, that is farming on a indoor environment in a vertical space instead of field, open field. So they use IoT sensors, artificial intelligence, machine learning to grow crops vertically using water, LED lights, nutrients, which is called hydroponic farming. So the company claims to achieve up to 350 times more yield than traditional field. 350 times more yield, just think about it. And they claim to use less than 100%, less than 1% of the water required. So think about the regions where water is scarce, like Singapore, or the drought-stricken area in America or other areas of the world, where water is very valuable resource. If you can produce crops using only 1% of the water that is required in traditional field, then it will be magical, right? It will be magical. So what they do, their farming space usually 1 lakh to 50,000 square feet, and plants are growing in vertical columns of different heights, and a wide network of IoT sensors, cameras. They collect sensor data and image regarding the plant from different points inside the room, right? And in different stages of the plant's life cycle. And that data is fed into the system. This information is then analyzed and fed back into the algorithms that adjust the light, the frequency, the water flow, the nutrients, temperature, humidity, oxygen, and other things. So all those factors are being automatically controlled, and from the previously gathered data, it's learning which combination and which parameter settings are giving us the best result regarding this plant. So it's automatically improving. So that is the perfect example of application of machine learning in agriculture, right? So they're growing in a controlled environment, and they also protect the crops from disease and minimize the use of pesticides because it's indoor, right? So it's already protected from storm and other things. Another example. So I'm Nayeem Ahmad, as already told by Nazbul Bhai. So I'm an entrepreneur and graduated from Bluedot in 2002, did my master's in 2019. Also, I had a management training from IIT Kharagpur, India in 2005. Almost 20 years of industry experience. I started working for the industry during my student life. So that is how it's almost 20 years. And my special focus area is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Agile project management is another area I focus, and also blockchain and IoT. So the way I will present the rest of the things, number one is I will try to define what is machine learning. And we'll see that there are different ways of defining machine learning, and we'll discuss a little bit about it. And then we will talk about the demand of machine learning, why it's exploding in this fashion that we are seeing throughout the world in different industries. And also applications. We have already discussed about 2 examples in 2 industries, but there are many other areas where machine learning and artificial intelligence are being applied to get good results, right? Great results. And then I will talk a little bit about career in machine learning. A lot of people are considering taking this career path in machine learning, and this area is booming throughout the world, right? And also about my organization, Ishraq, I'll tell a few words what we are trying to do here. And also another community, Machine Learning Bangladesh, that focuses on working on machine learning. A community of machine learning enthusiasts working specifically on machine learning and AI related things. And then we'll have a short duration for question and answer. So regarding question and answer, my request will be to keep note of whatever comes to your mind, whatever question comes to your mind. And during the question and answer session, we will discuss them all. And in the meantime, from different topics that will be covered, some of the questions will be answered, I hope. So what is machine learning, right? So there are different ways of defining machine learning. Aurélien Guérin, he wrote a book on machine learning with scikit-learn and TensorFlow. So he defined like this: machine learning is the science and art of programming computers so that they can learn from data. So whatever data we are recording, the program's performance is improving without reprogramming, just from the new data. That is one way of defining it. Another way, as found in Wikipedia, so it says the scientific study of algorithms and statistical models that computer systems use to perform a specific task without using explicit instructions, relying on patterns and inferences instead. So instead of reprogramming or changing the program, the machine learning algorithms actually depend on data for improvement of performance. That is the main difference. So now there are a few other terms that are related and discussed a lot. So just to understand the relation, I'll try to mention a few. One is artificial intelligence, of course. Today's session is regarding artificial intelligence and machine learning. So what is artificial intelligence? Any technique that enable machines to mimic human intelligence using logic, if then else, decision trees and others. So whatever the technique may be, any technique that enables machines to show intelligence like human being, that can be termed as artificial intelligence. Now, this is one definition that I'm sharing with you. You will find many others. So, and everyone is not agreeing to a single definition, of course. And then what is machine learning? Basically, machine learning is a subset of AI. So one subset of artificial intelligence where the techniques enable machines to improve a task with experience. This experience, this is the data that we record. So whatever happens, we are recording those things, and that becomes an experience for the system. And without reprogramming or changing the program, due to the bigger, larger amount of experience, the machine performs better. The program performs better. And then what is deep learning? Again, deep learning is a subset of machine learning where the algorithms mimic the way human brain works. Basically, in deep learning, the techniques that are applied for getting better results based on experience, recorded data, is very difficult to explain why it's working better. And this is exactly the way human brain works. Basically, human brain, that is network of neurons that are trained gradually. And in some way, basically we learn to walk, learn to run, and many other things we learn. But inside the brain, what happens to the neurons is very difficult to explain. But this network gradually learn to perform better and better. So deep learning are those techniques that try to mimic the way the human brain works. Not only human brain, any biological brain works. So this is in brief, if we define these three terms. So artificial intelligence is the biggest umbrella, machine learning is one subset, and deep learning is a subset of machine learning. This is how it's defined. Another term that is discussed a lot, that is data science. So basically, artificial intelligence and machine learning, deep learning, those are very closely connected. And there are some other areas, maths, statistics, visualization, exploratory data analysis, this type of things. And this common area is called data science between AI and math, statistics, visualization, EDA. This common portion is called data science. So in short, this is a rough idea regarding these terms, as people are discussing these terms a lot nowadays. So now we'll talk a little bit about different applications of machine learning, right? So number one is radiology and imaging. So from the X-ray films or the CT scan films or the ultrasonogram films, the specialists, the radiologist, doctors try to find out different problematic areas. different problems, diseases, physical issues. So using machine learning, when we feed the algorithm a good number of X-ray films with the findings of the specialist, then this algorithm starts giving us recommendation regarding any new image given to it, right? So when I train the algorithm using say 1 million X-ray records, then when I give a new X-ray record to the algorithm, it helps me identify the problems without even the specialist. So this is not to replace the specialist. In fact, these algorithms, these programs are used by the specialist to help them identify something quicker, right? And then physical robots for surgery assistance. Nowadays, basically, we know that in surgery, it's very difficult to operate when the area of operation is very small and every movement counts, right? So every movement counts. So for human hand, sometimes it becomes very difficult to control that movement to that level. So nowadays, physical robots are being used for assisting the surgeon in these surgery operations. So, and these robots are learning from the data gradually. And day by day, it performs better and better based on the previous experience. That is a good example of machine learning. Another is drug discovery. We already discussed a little bit regarding COVID-19. So in other cases also, in other scenarios also, drug discovery is a big area where machine learning is applied. So different drug tried and all the data are recorded, different experiments, all the data are recorded. From there, machine learning algorithms try to find out which drug is the most promising one, okay? Maybe there are hundreds of drug options and we cannot try everyone. So each and every one, if we go to try, it will take a lot of time. It will be very expensive. So the machine learning algorithms, we try to find out which of the proposed drugs are most promising based on different criteria. Another is prosthesis. So after amputation, people use artificial legs or hands, limbs. So these artificial legs use machine learning to act as a natural leg or a natural hand. How does it do this? So wherever, say, some patient is using this, from his muscles movement, machine learning algorithms are used to identify his intention. Okay, so if someone wants to move the leg rightward, then his amputated legs, that portion will move in a different way, right? So machine learning algorithm take record of maybe hundreds and thousands of such attempts and try to identify which movement of muscle means rightward movement and which one means leftward. In this way, machine learning algorithm give the patient some artificial leg that behaves very close to the natural legs. So this is another area machine learning is used. Another huge area that machine learning is used, artificial intelligence and machine learning, that is education. One is standardized tests. Say in our country, there are more than 150, I think more than 200 universities are there. And say in every university, there is a course called programming. Now, if someone scored A+ in one university, it's very difficult to say that this student is better than the other student who got A in another university. It's not comparable. We know the standards of the test, the exam is not same for all the universities, but machine learning can be used to set the standard. Now, if we can achieve such standard and all the universities use these standardized tests, then there will be no local bias. And then for programming, we can take tests that is equivalent for all the institutions. Now, any student gets A plus is better than A. That we can claim. So standardized tests is a big area where machine learning is being used. Another is assessments. Basically, in assessment, whenever we use manual process of assessment, then the assessment is biased by the person it's assessing, right? So same answer, teacher is different, result is different, but that should not be the case. Ideal case is it's assessed by every teacher in the same way, but that is not possible, we know, because every teacher is different. So assessments are different due to this. Now assessment can be done automatically using machine learning. And we can detect cheating, right? In academic area, there are a lot of cheating happens, copying one student's thing and being submitted in the name of another student. So this type of cheating detection that can be done using machine learning. And also personalized assistance. If there's a class of say 50 students, every student is different. So it's very unscientific if I attempt to treat every student in similar fashion. So machine learning and artificial intelligence help us to identify specific weakness area for particular student, right? So in that way, we can assist the specific student regarding his weakness areas. But otherwise, we cover the same topics in the class. Some students are strong in that area. Some students are weak in that area. Some of them get good advantage. Some cannot take that much advantage. So this uniformity cannot be maintained. But when artificial intelligence and machine learning applied, we can find out the weakness areas of specific student. And we can guide the student to remove those weaknesses from that area by taking extra class, doing more study, giving extra focus to that, right? And also in career planning. Currently, one thing you all will see that people plan career based on the current market scenario, okay? Say we are seeing that machine learning is in high demand. So now all the students are taking machine learning courses. But career is nothing regarding now. If some student is in second year now, he will pass after another 2 years. So his career planning means he need to forecast what will be in demand when I pass out of the university. So in career planning, you need to forecast, you need to predict. That is where machine learning works very well. So based on the recorded examples and previous trends, now you can find out which skill will be in demand when I'll pass. So now something is in demand, but that will become obsolete in another 1 year maybe. And in software or IT industry, it's even faster, right? Something is popular today, and in 6 months it become obsolete. Another thing replaces it. So career planning is an important area to find out the best path for my career. Machine learning can be used there. Another one is agriculture. Of course, I have already told you a story regarding plenty. That is one example where machine learning can be used for agriculture, but there are many other areas as well, like sowing the seeds. Basically, machineries driven by AI, machine learning, are being used in different areas of the world, in developed countries, for sowing the seeds in optimal way, right? And analyzing farm data, different records, analyzing so that it can be understood what I need to do for maybe cure of a disease or maybe amount of watering. Okay, this type of things can be decided. Detection of diseases from pictures that we already discussed in plenty case. So from the farm, if some drone can take picture regularly of different areas of the say land, diseases can be detected using machine learning. And then you can apply medicine only to that specific area instead of spreading the medicine over the whole field. In that way, you can optimize the use. And smart machineries for different purposes in agriculture. Picking the crops is one good example for that. And also regarding monitoring of the health and other factors using machine learning and artificial intelligence. Another area is gaming. So in 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov. He was champion in that period, right? He was world champion in chess. So he was defeated by IBM's Deep Blue. So now 25 years ago, we used to play chess games. And those games used to apply the logic using different steps, different scenarios of the board. They used to try to predict what can be the next move if I give this move. What will be the move of my opponent if I give that move? So based on the move, it would try to predict next 8 or 16 moves. And it was very expensive with regards to computing power and time. So nowadays, machine learning, artificial intelligence is being used. Now algorithms do not predict all the steps, all the moves. Instead, it tries to record in this scenario of the board, what move gave us the maximum number of victory from my previous experiences. And now when the program is playing chess, it can play thousands of times in a single day. For a human being, it's very difficult, right? For a human being, it's very difficult to play chess maybe for 100 games in a day. But for a machine, for a computer program, it's very easy to play a million times in a day. So from those records, it tries to identify which move gave me the best result. This is how it tries to win. And we know that in 2016, Google DeepMind's AlphaGo, another program that defeated Lee Sedol, the Go world champion. So the game of Go is much more complex than chess. And the Chinese people are expert of it, Chinese, Korean, those people. So AlphaGo defeated Lee Sedol in 2016. So these are done using machine learning. Another example, good example is Rubik's Cube. Many of you already might know that in Rubik's Cube, you can rotate it in different direction and you will try to match the color on each surface. So in manual, it's 67 seconds. So using machine learning, it takes half the time. So this is a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I'm not sure you will see the video or not. Let me try to play it. So in the blink of an eye, the Rubik's Cube is solved. If it can load. Sorry. Okay, it's not playing, sorry. Then another example is driverless car. Okay, this is another good example that's already happening in different developed countries like United States, Singapore. So driverless car are already taking the road, right? So Tesla is one good example. They are using machine learning, artificial intelligence extensively. And what they have done so far, they have started using autopilot. Now, maybe for several years, they are using it. And they are recording the data. From that data, they are claiming that the death rate in manual driving is 2.27 deaths per million miles. 2.27 deaths per million miles. In driverless car, that is autopilot, is only 0.35 deaths per million miles. So it's 6 times safer. Already it's much safer. And the beauty of machine learning is the more it will run, the better it gets. So it will gather more experience, it will gather more data, and it will perform better. That is the beauty of machine learning, right? You know, there's no need to even change your program. Okay. And then charging network, a road planner. So when you start driving, it's a big concern for the electric vehicle owners that where to charge my car from. So machine learning algorithms are already giving you the routes, which will be best suited to go to your destination without missing a supercharger charging station, right? And the smart summon is another interesting feature. When you are out of your house, you just summon your car that will come out from the parking by itself. Yes, by itself. So smart summon is a great feature. All these are being done by machine learning and artificial intelligence. Another interesting concept is robotaxi. That is coming, they're telling it will be coming in 2021. What is this? When you are done with your car, you will allow Tesla to use your car to be used as taxi. So without driver, your car will go away and give service to other customers. And from that payment, you will get a cut. So by allowing your car to be used by other people without driver, keep it in mind, without driver, so no extra cost for you, you are getting some revenue. And you will give it time, at that time, the car will return to your parking, okay? So very good business proposition, right? Another is facial recognition system. So one of the good example of computer vision, right? So face recognition is being used for attendance system nowadays in different areas and for security checkpoints. Instead of checking thoroughly every person, you can try to predict who has a higher risk of causing some problem, right? So for those people, you do thorough checking. For other people, you keep the checking at a minimum level. By that, you will move faster and it will be less painful for the people, right? So another is surveillance. China is already using surveillance. Police people are already using machine learning based facial recognition system to identify criminal from the crowd. They are already arresting. Now, are they right in doing that or not? That is a different discussion. But that is how technology can be used for cases that we think appropriate, right? Another is, of course, war. Identify someone and shoot. So now this is an area where a lot of debate is going on. Most probably in California, they have banned facial recognition. Facial recognition is banned. Now this will be different from country to country. This requires regulatory approvals for using technology. But in many good examples, already people are using facial recognition systems. Another area where machine learning and artificial intelligence being used a lot, that is customer care, right? One example is chatbot. Now, say you have many thousands of customers and customers call your people to know about different things due to facing different issues, they need solution. So maybe you have some call center with say 10 agents to listen to the customers. Now just think about a scenario where the chatbots will automatically handle 80% of the requests coming from the customers. 80% of the requests being handled by the chatbot itself, and 20% is being taken care of by the human agents. In this way, your 10 people will be working 5 times more. And for a human agent, there are other limitations, okay? Someone is not in good mood, so his response to the customer will not be very good, okay? And someone is very tired, exhausted, his response will not be good. And for some information, he is searching manually. It will take a lot of time, it will be slow. In case of chatbot, it will give a search in the database, so it will be faster, it will be accurate, it will be 24/7. So chatbot is a great way to improve customer care, okay? So this customer may mean your employees also. If you have a team of say 500 employees, 1000 employees, then serving them in different areas may also involve chatbots in the same way, right? Sentiment analysis. When our customers are giving a text review or our employees are say sharing something in text, it's very difficult to automatically identify whether this customer is happy or unhappy or say angry. Now, natural language processing based agents are successfully identifying the sentiment. So for, say, some customer who is sharing something with anger, right? The customer is angry. Maybe it will alert the management peoples that some customer is angry. If someone is happy, that will be a good sign, okay? So we can count on that to measure our performance, how good we are serving the customers. And sorting and routing supporting queries. People are just typing in a question, they need some help in some area. So you need to automatically understand what type of problem is this and which of my agents are best suited to handle this, right? So this sorting can be done automatically using machine learning, right? And of course, enhance phone support. Whenever we, our customer care agent are talking over the phone, from this voice conversation, our machine can help us, giving us extra additional information regarding the customer or the issue that they're discussing. So this is how phone support can also be enhanced using artificial intelligence and machine learning. So another interesting area is manufacturing, right? The picture, if you see, look at the picture, so many robots are there, right? So now these automated robots are bringing in much better productivity and accuracy quality to the production system. And these robots are being trained using machine learning. Gradually they are improving. Now a robot, when it learns something, it can do it repeatedly. That is the difference between a robot and a human worker, right? Some human worker become tired after doing repetitive work, and it's boring for human being. Human beings are not good at repetitive work, right? They are not very accurate. They will become bored. And when they are bored, their quality will fall. So in manufacturing, artificial intelligence, machine learning is being used for quality assurance, human robot collaboration, generative design, right? So those are the areas machine learning is being used in manufacturing also, better prediction. In manufacturing, it's a important task to predict the amount of materials required for doing something, right? In your factory, which component is required in what quantity. You need to predict this, because based on that prediction, you will request for those materials. And if this prediction is not correct, then you will be stuck in the middle of production, right? The whole system will be stuck. So prediction is another important area. So after telling this, I'd like to take a short break, as already discussed in the beginning. So we will have a break till 9:10, okay? So around 9:10, we'll be starting again. Is that fine?
Yeah, that will be all right.
Yeah. So we will be back by 9:10, okay?
Thank you, Naeem bhai. Actually, Elizapu, would you like to take on the stage?
Oh, sure. We are now halfway of our session, and I must say it's a really great session. Thanks again, Naeem bhai, for facilities. As I mentioned at the beginning of our session that we have a quiz section at the end, and the top 5 scorer will get chances to win voucher from Huawei Cloud and LearnIvo. And to avail the prize, we have to join our meetup group, which already share on chat box. And you can also join by scan, which is appeared on screen. It's basically a ground rule that you are not qualified for the prize if you're not our meetup group. And the rules and regulation of quiz will be described just before the quiz. And if you have any question for Naeem bhai, you can and also ask here. Please join our meetup group, not for the prize also, but for upcoming session. Thank you.
Okay, I'm breaking the silence, even though we are on a break. Basically, what Elizapu just shared with us at the start of the break. Kindly join one of these groups. You'll find the link tree here on in the QR code. Also, you'll find it in the chat box. You'll find the joining links for Agile Tour Bangladesh, Management 3.0, and Women in Agile. Of course, Women in Agile are for women. So the other two, you can join any of them. It's like qualifier for the quiz later on. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can post them on the chat box. So there's a question from Baizid Hassan for Huawei Cloud. So let me take it now during the break. Basically, Huawei is working not only for cloud. We are working in this country for 22 years now. I mean, this is our 21st year running. So we are working here since 1998, working with all the operators and a lot of enterprises since 2011. Also, we are working with the government, and now we are into the cloud since last year. And as I mentioned, we have some customers already operating their ERP systems, operating their CRM, and of course, for basic, needs in the cloud. The thing is that to work with Huawei, you just need to, apply on the usual channels. We don't really have any specific requirement. You need to be an engineer, or if you're a programmer, maybe yeah, we have a software wing as well. Yes, so just check on the job boards and you'll find some opportunity there. Yes, Mr. Sanaullah, there will be a quiz session at the end of the session. I mean, now the first session is done, and there will be a second session right after the break is finished. Now we are halfway down the break. So no, at least another 3 minutes will be starting soon. So, and the exam will be taken at the end of this session.
Okay, great. We can start, right?
Yes, please, Naeem bhai. Let's start.
Sure. Let me know when the screen is visible, right?
Yeah, we can see a
Great.
robot trying to fly.
Yeah, right. So already I'm seeing some questions. So as I already said, at the end of the session, we'll keep few minutes for answering the questions. And some of the questions will be answered in the next few slides as well. So just I'd request to pay attention. So there is some area that is robotics, where machine learning, artificial intelligence is extensively used. One of the most famous robot company is Boston Dynamics. So here I am trying to play a video. I'm not sure. Here video is not playing correctly. I'm not sure. Let me know whether you can see the video. This video shows the type of complicated movements that is now. Oh, sorry. So how do I play this? 1 second. Oh. See. Can you see my screens here? The YouTube video?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Just less than a minute. So the purpose of showing this video is to share the importance of machine learning. That learning to walk on two legs is very critical for this type of robots. For a long time, we used to see robots that are basically used to move on wheels, right? That was the easiest. That was the easiest way of making robots. Now, keeping the balance when robot is walking on two legs or four is much more difficult. But now machine learning and AI is giving it that ability, right? Now it can walk on stairs, uneven surfaces like this. So these all are becoming possible due to using machine learning and artificial intelligence, okay? Another thing that many of us already use every day, and some of us not that much, that is voice assistant, right? So for Apple, this is called Siri. For Google, it's Google Assistant. Alexa is for Amazon, and Cortana is from Microsoft. All those voice assistants use machine learning behind the scene, right? When we speak to them, number one, they convert the voice to text using machine learning. Number two, from that text, they try to understand our intention using machine learning. Now, from that intention, from our query or request, they try to find out the best result they can provide to us, right? That is also done using machine learning. So this is another huge area that Microsoft and Amazon especially, and also Google, investing a lot. Okay. Another is art and literature. Basically, even I think a few years back, people used to say that this is one area where machine learning or artificial intelligence or computer cannot do a lot of work, right? So now we can see this picture artwork. This is drawn by a computer, right? A computer program drawn this. And these faces all are fake faces. Worrying, right? Frightening. None of these faces is real. All are fake faces. Just think about it. As already mentioned by, say, Nazmul Bhai, OpenAI already launched a platform called GPT-3 version 3. Used that platform, one teenager boy, he wrote a program that produced a blog of fake articles. All articles are written by programs. That became #1 in Hacker News. So Hacker News is a famous website where the blogs are ranked based on the technicality, the level of sophistication of the articles, right? So just think about it. One teenager could write a program using this library that became #1 within few days. So these are the things that can be done by a program nowadays, which even few years back, people used to think can never be done by computer programs, right? And also writing novels, poetry, and others. These all are being done by computers. So tell it it's good or bad, that's up to you, you decide, but this is what can be done by using machine learning and AI. Now, the actual uses always depend on the user, right? Gun is something good if someone uses it for good purposes. And now the same gun is very bad if it's used for bad reasons, right? So the technology or tools is good or bad based on the user's good or bad. So this is another area machine learning is being used, and many other areas where machine learning playing a good role. One example is traffic light controls. Though people in Dhaka will not understand that much because we spent maybe crores of our money in installing the lights that becomes green and orange, and that's it. There's no use of it, right? Why? Because these are all static, right? Now the duration for how long the orange light will be on, it has to be variable, no? It has to be intelligent and based on the amount of traffic. In one direction, it may be 1 minute and at one time. In another time of the day, it may be 5 minutes, depending on the traffic at that moment of time, right? So it has to be dynamic, right? So machine learning can play a big role in dynamically controlling the traffic lights so that it can be used practically. Nowadays, we see in most of the signals, actually the traffic police is controlling the traffic, right? People are obeying the traffic lights very little. And chemistry is another area where simulations are being taken place and people are trying to find out different combinations, different reactions using machine learning, right? Bidding and advertising. The advertisements we see on Google, on Facebook, on YouTube, which video to play, where to place this advertisement. These all are decided based on machine learning and artificial intelligence to produce the best outcome, not to disturb you, right? The advertising company, they are also eager to interest you. They do not want to show you something irrelevant. But what is relevant and what is not, deciding it is very difficult, right? So machine learning and artificial intelligence is being used for that purpose. Criminology. From a profile of an individual, can we say what is the probability that he's a criminal? Is very difficult, right? But nowadays, machine learning is analyzing someone's profile and giving it a probability, maybe to help the people in police department. But there can be misuse of this also, as I have already told. The technology can be good or bad depending on the use. So now why the demand is exploding, the demand of machine learning? Number one is, of course, invention of more powerful computers. Powerful computers are becoming cheaper and cheaper. Cloud servers, no need to buy or own, right? Huawei Cloud that Nazmul Bhai was talking about, huge servers. You no need to buy them, right? So you need to use for 1 hour, you pay for 1 hour, not more, not less, right? No need to own a server, because owning a server, managing a server is very difficult job. It's not for everyone, but using a server can be everyone's privilege. So there are cloud servers, powerful ones. and then decreasing the cost of computing for different parameters, right? And the increase of amount of data, different IoT gathering data, different information systems gathering data. So data and data everywhere, and amount of data is staggering, right? So this is very helpful for machine learning algorithms to learn from. And also requirement of data-driven decision-making for every business. Few years back, you were not using software, it's fine. But nowadays, it's very difficult to even survive. Forget about being competitive. Forget about being the top in the market, right? It's very difficult to even survive without data-driven decision-making, okay? So you need to decide very quickly and very accurately, depending on the data. So this all actually helping in the explosion of demand of machine learning. And also demand of automation of repeatable tasks wherever possible. Basically, that I already told that human beings are not good at repeated tasks. They're not good. They're not good at repeated tasks. So wherever we can replace human being in the repeatable task, we can use human being in some other areas that is not repeated. Now a little bit about the direction technology is going. Gartner hype cycle, this is one interesting thing I found only recently, not long ago. This hype cycle is important for everyone planning for a career or planning for a direction for their business. Basically, this hype cycle is done by Gartner every year, and they try to find out where a certain technology is currently placed based on the level of expectation. So there are two axes. One is time axis, another is expectation. So whenever a new technology comes into the market, people's expectation is triggered. So this is called innovation trigger. Everyone is expecting a lot to happen from that technology, right? So if you see, look at here, you will find chatbot at some point, right? Chatbot at some point. Quantum computing at one point. And then it will reach a peak of inflated expectations. But the technology is not matured yet, so it will not deliver that way. So people's expectation will gradually fall. And then they will come down to trough of disillusionment. And then gradually the technology will mature and then start delivering on people's expectation. And then plateau of productivity will come. So if you look at NLP, you will see one color. Artificial general intelligence, it's an orange color, and every color basically means a number of years to reach the plateau of productivity. So if you are planning your career or if you are planning your business based on any of these technology, try to find out how long it will take to reach the plateau of productivity. Otherwise, you may face the situation that you have started with something very exciting. People are very excited about it, but down the road in 1 or 2 years, there is no expectation at all. So in career planning, you will see different AI technologies are in different stage of maturity, right? So you can use this for your career planning or business growth planning. So now a little bit regarding career in machine learning. Basically, this data is taken few months back, I think 2 or 3 months back. From Glassdoor.com, I saw more than 80,000 jobs in AI, machine learning, deep learning. Monster.com, more than 50,000. Indeed.com, 33,000. Many Bangladeshi companies are also working on machine learning and AI, and they are also hiring on and off. Now there is one point, if you only focus on Bangladeshi market, then in current situation, you will not see a lot of opportunities regarding machine learning because the change in technology comes in our market later, right? So globally it's in high demand, but in our market, it's only started coming. So anyone planning for a career in machine learning need to be patient. And I suggest to be focusing on the global market, not in Bangladesh market, because Bangladesh market is number one, very small, Number two, very slow to respond to global change. And there are different other factors in Bangladesh market. So even if you are a good candidate for certain job, that doesn't mean you will be hired. There are different other factors in big projects. There are many other factors. Do you have a good connection? Do you have a good relation? Those are the things you need to consider. But when I think about the global market, you will find numerous opportunities that is related to machine learning, artificial intelligence, and others. I have mentioned a few names of the companies here. There are many lists. I have shared here some. In 2019, there are more than 100 AI companies in different areas of the industry, different industries, and many others globally. Now, who can benefit from machine learning, right? So any company owner or entrepreneur can benefit from machine learning, making use of it, making business idea based on machine learning, and other things company owners can benefit. And product development team, instead of classical approach of product design, they can use machine learning to learn what is good for my client and what is bad, right? So product development can use machine learning to improve their product faster, smarter, right? Sales and marketing team, as I already mentioned, Facebook, Google, they're placing their advertisements in places that give them the best revenue, right? So sales and marketing team need to use machine learning to understand what is the demand of the market and what change will make my product better and better. Which market segment is best suited for my product or product portfolio. So machine learning is very relevant here. And of course, human resource team in training, in assessment, in finding the weakness areas of certain team members and finding out some other issues using machine learning, right? Manufacturing team, already we have discussed about different ways we can improve manufacturing using machine learning. Teachers, students, and researchers. We have already discussed about standardized tests, okay? Personalized assistance. Those are the things that can be done using machine learning very easily. That will improve the teacher-student relation and the progress of the student very fast. Now, how to learn? I think that was one of the questions I saw in the stream. So many sources are there. Basically, there are no lack of resources for learning. The problem is there are too many sources, right? That is the thing that confuse many of the people. So Coursera, Towards Data Science, Udemy, DZone, there are a lot of YouTube videos and many books. So you need to follow any one of them to start with, right? And then others will help you, right? So you just need to start with anyone. Don't start looking at everything, then you will lose your path, right? So start with anyone you like, you prefer, then others will help you to improve further. And whenever you can, try to join in commercial projects, okay? Serious projects, not only learning assignments, not only learning projects, not only in hypothetical projects, instead real projects that will give you an edge, right? And after doing something many times, you will become a professional. Kaggle is one area where different contests take place regarding data science, right? So those are the relevant ones. Now, regarding my organization, Ishak Solutions, basically we're trying to make a software development team that focusing mainly on artificial intelligence and machine learning. Of course, there are many other software companies, but we are trying to narrow down our focus on AI and machine learning. Now, our special area is face recognition, natural language processing, chatbot. These are the areas we are trying to focus and working on, right? So again, we are also offering training for Python, machine learning, deep learning to produce team members for ourselves and for the industry. And we think as a country, we have the opportunity to make a strong machine learning professionals community to take on large global projects. This is possible. We have the manpower. Now the remaining thing is utilizing the manpower, training the right people with the right skill, and then connecting with the right opportunities. So we are also offering training for that purpose, right? Different batches are there. Detail can be found, ishrak.com/training. And we also offer internship for appropriate candidates. Anyone interested to work with us can send CV to hr@struck.com. You can contact me also. And there's a community that we are connected to, Machine Learning Bangladesh. The purpose is to unite the machine learning enthusiasts of the country and do good things, big things, and become a strong community to take on global large projects. Okay, so I would request all the participants here to take few minutes to join this community and start participating. Okay, sharing your thoughts and ideas, asking questions, whatever come to your mind. No need to hesitate, you can just share, right? So now is the time for questions, if you have any. I think a couple of questions I have already answered, and there were some other questions. Let me check. I'm stopping sharing my screen. So one question was regarding blockchain, right? So from Bashir, there is a question, how can you use blockchain in AI ML? Basically, you see, blockchain is a way of storing data, right? So basically, in a way, in a fashion, so that it cannot be modified. That is the main thing of blockchain. So basically, the two things completely separate. When you are using machine learning, you can keep your data in any format possible, and then you need to load the data for the processing, okay? So you can use blockchain for storing data to give protection from any change, unauthorized change in the data. That is completely separate from artificial intelligence or machine learning. Basically, artificial intelligence and machine learning require data to train and produce some model, and that model can be used to predict future things and can to identify patterns in the data. That's it. And blockchain is about storing data, okay? So two separate things. Let's not mix them up, right? Another question from Bayajid Hassan, right? As a fresher, how can I start learning AI? I think I already answered this question. What is the pre-requirement for learning it? Basically, a little bit of programming will help you. And if not, you do not know that, you can learn programming also is very easy. Python is a very easy language to learn. And we have found Python to be best suited programming language for machine learning. So consider learning Python first before going into machine learning things. For any beginner, it will be a good start. And I have already shared few names to start with machine learning, and start with anyone, the others will help gradually. Okay. Any question I'm missing? Can you give an example? This is from RZ to understand the differentiate AI, ML, and DL, right? So basically, in the beginning, I tried to explain the difference. So if I try to give an example, then one example will be like, say, character recognition or handwriting recognition. In one point of time, a lot of algorithms were developed to understand the handwriting, okay, in English or even in Bengali. But they used to identify the characters using different if then else logic and complicated algorithms. So that is AI. And from them, some algorithms came up with the idea of what we did earlier for a correct prediction, okay? So maybe we have 1 million examples where I identified the character already. This is A, this is B, this is C, okay? And we have millions of such records. From that record, I will take a new image and try to identify which one is A and which one is B. And gradually, I will feed more and more data to the system to predict better and better. That is machine learning. You see the difference? In AI, there is no data. It's completely logic driven. To improve the performance, you need to reprogram, right? Touch the program, change the program, improve with the logic. Maybe you give a different algorithm altogether. But in machine learning, you are not touching the logic. Instead, you are giving it more and more data to learn. And from there, the algorithm is learning how to identify A, how to identify B, like this. And in deep learning, basically machine learning and deep learning, there is a very fine line between two of them. In deep learning, it's basically used using, it's called artificial neural network. I do not have the time at this point to go into the details, but the main thing is it's a network of nodes, many layers of nodes, using which we try to predict correctly. And that is also trained by millions of records, many records. But it works using neural network, which is how it mimics the human brain. That is the difference between machine learning and machine learning and deep learning. I think it answers the question. Okay.
Thank you, Naeem bhai, for this very engaging session. And in fact, we learned a lot about the industry practices and also the movement that is happening on. So we thank you again for the time. But we'll take another 15 minutes, hopefully shorter than that, just to go through the next part of the arrangement today, which is the quiz. And before that, maybe Eliza would like to share something, and then we'll move on.
Thanks, Mahmoud bhai, and thanks a lot, Naeem bhai. It's a really great session indeed, and I hope our audience also agree with me. And we are about to start our quiz section, and it's a last call for joining Meetup group. I would like to grab your attention that it's a ground rule that you are not qualified for the prize if you're not our Meetup group. Thanks for already joining our Meetup group, and I am requesting rest of you to join Meetup group. Over to Nazmul Bhai, he will facilitate the quiz section. And till then, please, we can take 5 minutes to joining the Meetup group.
Yeah, so please join the meetup groups, the appropriate meetup groups. So you'll find the links in the chat box itself. Just click there and you'll be redirected to the appropriate group, or you can take the link here. But anyway, I will now try to explain the way we are going to operate the quiz session. So just before even we start, I would recommend that you have at least 2 screens if you want to do well. It's something that you need to have a look at the questions on your current screen, and hopefully use a smart device, a phone, or maybe a tab. I don't know if you have a second laptop. So in any case, 2 screens would be really helpful. Otherwise, you'll have to switch between tabs if you prefer that. So the questions will appear on top of the screen here. In fact, it will be here on the top. So once you see the questions, you'll get a certain amount of time. So you'll see, the image here is somewhat relevant, but not really important for you to answer the questions. You see the questions here, and you see the countdown and how many people have already answered, because you want to be one of the first few to answer. The faster you answer, the more answer time you get. Actually, the questions are pretty much simple. It matters how fast you will reply. So the other device will be used, this second device will be used to pick on the choice. Let's say if it is a true and false, you'll get 2 options. You just pick, if this is the first one and you see the true here, you click the red one, it's fine. And if you have multiple answers, maybe 1 or 2 of them or 3 of them or all 4 are applicable, you just quickly click on all 4 one by one. So that's how you actually answer. You see the question here, you answer in a different device if you have it available with you, or just borrow it from someone, okay? So then once you have that, I will show you how to really go to this screen. So you'll have to go to kahoot.it, or you can scan from here, whichever is easier for you. So we are giving you some time to go to that website. And in the meantime, I'll also have to turn on the exam. Yeah, so please go to kahoot.it, or you can use this link. So once you are there on kahoot.it, you'll need to provide a game pin, which I'll share with you shortly. And then in here, this is the next screen. Once you give the game pin, they will ask you to put a nickname. But to help us, actually, to help the LEARNIVO team to decipher who you are, because there are more than 50 people here, so please use the name you used for registration. That will be very helpful for them to check, if you have registered in the meetup groups and you have actually uh, registered for the session itself. So please use the name you use for registration. And once we have the 50 people joining in, we will start. So I hope you are already there in kahoot.it. So we'll now directly show you the link. You can use this game pin 891770. If you haven't already gone there, it's www.kahoot.it. Mr. Asif is already here. And then you use the game pin and use your nickname, which preferably is the name you used for registration. Okay, so it's fairly simple. Many of us are joining. So hopefully within next 2 minutes, we'll expect a huge turnout.
হ্যাঁ গেম পিনটা আরেকবার বলবেন
Game pin is in your screen, 891770. Can you
Bhaiya,
see
you
the
are
screen?
in wrong screen. No, you are in wrong screen.
Oh, my mistake. Please let me share the screen once more. Is it visible now?
yeah ভাইয়া yeah
Oh, sorry for that. So hopefully the game pin is available to everyone now. We have 22 players, expecting 10 more when we start. If you have any problems joining in, please do share. Okay, at some point we'll have to start. So we are actually getting some players also somehow disconnected. Yes, 26 players. Okay, more are joining, so I'll keep on for a few more minutes. Okay, one more player, then we start. All right. People are still joining. So Elizabeth, what do you say? We wait? But please bear in mind, if you need to be in one of those meetup groups once you are like done with the exam, we expect you to be in one of those meetup groups. The LEARNIVO has this requirement. So
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
point actually. We have already 32 pairs. I was wondering how many of them actually on our meetup group.
So okay, let's start then. We have a lot of players and we'll start shortly with the first question. So this is the Awesome August program by LEARNIVO, and you have your first question on your screen now. You have 20 seconds. It's a fairly simple question. At the top, the question is there, and whether it's true or false, you use your phone to just click on the right color. Okay, so 18 answers so far, and 9 of them were correct. So it seems it was very difficult. Well, it doesn't seem so. The question was, as machine learning algorithms gain experience, they keep the same accuracy. Well, it's false because they are going to get better and better. That's the point. And the next question is somewhat true or false. Similar question. I think it will be easier now that you have discussed in the first question. Should be quick to answer. Most of the people, 30, 32. Yes, and I believe everybody will get this right this time. Right, so it was kind of like the same question from the first question, but yes, now you get the point that machine learning algorithms improve over time by themselves. So the next question will require a bit more, good reading, but you'll get more time in here, and there is a clue on the picture, if you can guess it. We're approaching 3 seconds. Yes. So basically, these three are right answers. All these three are the disadvantages of machine learning. But none of the above is not the right answer. So by the way, these all questions are from Naeem Bhai. We just put it there in this platform. I hope we will now see that some of the guys are already, at the leaderboard. So you can still beat them. We have 2 more questions. There is no teacher, unsupervised learning. So which is the proper way to do it? And there is a clue here too, because I was talking about it at the beginning. If you're there, you know that Huawei has won an award recently for this. Right, so clustering is the better way of unsupervised learning. So the final question is coming onto your screen right now. It has more time compared to the other questions because you'll have to really read it through and understand the expectations.
There is no question coming.
The question is on top. Machine learning can review large volumes of data and discover trends, patterns that would not be apparent to humans. It's probably the internet on your side also. So yes, most of the guys got it right. It's 25 people who got it right. So you see now we'll see the leaderboard, and yes, we have our top 5 people right here. So Tawfiq Bhai, Elizabeth, would you like to take on from here? Thank you.
Allow us some time to check all the things as our
Yes, so,
current group.
what is the full name of Mr. Asif?
I think Asif Bhai was also, one of the leaderboards earlier. I think, right? Asif Bhai, could you speak, please?
Asif
G9.
Hossain.
Yes, 9 bhai. I was previously.
Oh, okay. So Asif Bhai has been winning in all the three past cases. I think he is one of the leaders in every case. So probably we'll have to discard him this time also. But congratulations,
Yes, sir.
Asif Bhai. Consistently, you have been doing well. So let me get on to the detail list. I'll come back with the detail list soon. Okay, so I'm resharing the screen with the report. And congratulations to all. Actually, this is something that we are going through together. And thanks to Naeem Bhai again for this very, very well planned session. And these are the names right on your screen right now. So, Mr. Kaid, I believe it is.
Yes, we need the
Hello,
full name.
Could you kindly
Kite
share
Kazi.
your full name?
Kite Kazi.
Okay, we'd really appreciate if you can put it on the,
Kite
chat box.
Kazi. It's about Kite Kazi.
Yep, but it will be better if he could put in the chat box.
Thank you, Kazi Bhai, and Ishtiaq Bhai as well. Aminul Islam, I believe we'll find you in that name. Mr. Madhusudhan and Dewan Yafikur, those names are proper, and possibly we can find them easily. But would really request if you can put your names on the chat box. Mr. Aminul Islam, Madhusudhan, that
Yes.
is the name we'll find. Yeah.
Kite Kazi is in our group, so he is actually the first winner of this session, right?
So congratulations, Mr. Kazi.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thank you.
Ishtiaq Ahmed.
So basically, what you win, that is a question, of course. What we are giving away is
I
for the
haven't
top
found
three.
Ishtiaq Ahmed.
Ishtiaq Bhai, are you there?
Yeah, Nazmul Bhai, I'm here.
So have you joined in any of the meetup groups?
I think I have joined long ago in LEARNIVO and the meetup groups, and that is meetup of something with my email address aishti@gmail.com.
AISHT.
Yep.
Okay, so Tawfiq Bhai, please have a look at that. And in fact, why these meetup groups? Basically, LEARNIVO. I'm also working with LEARNIVO, for the sake of as Naeem Bhai also mentioned at the beginning in his part that Agile is something that we are trying to, learn through LEARNIVO and other organizations. And LEARNIVO has been a very good solution for me to get into Agile practices. And we hope as part of LEARNIVO that we can also spread the practices and we can grow together. So yes, today we are learning something technical, which is about machine learning and AI. And hopefully, as Naeem Bhai mentioned, in the hype cycle, more things are coming. We have to adapt. And agility can be a way to really adapt ourselves Tawfiq Bhai, not Ishtiaq Ahmed, you can find AIST. Can you please share your email address,
Yes,
Ishtiaq Bhai?
I'm writing in the chat box.
You can directly send to Tawfiq Bhai by
Sure.
clicking, Tawfiq. So I
Najmul,
would
actually,
request the
in
same to
meetup,
Aminul Islam.
Najmul, actually in meetup, the full name actually always shown, meetup group. So I haven't find any. So it's not possible to find with email address. Right? So
Okay.
member list.
So anyway, then Ishtiaq Bhai, kindly you guys take the time to join in one of those groups.
Yes, I have already joined in Agile Tour Bangladesh.
Okay. So basically,
In meetup group or in
Yes, Tawfiq Bhai, in meetup group.
okay, we can check this back later. So Qaid Kazi Bhai, Ishtiaq Bhai, Aminul Bhai, please join one of those groups. And Mr. Madhusudhan and Dewan Yafikur. So the top three prizes are going, awards are for Huawei Cloud voucher, 200 US dollars. You can use it for any way you like. After the end of this August, we have one more session to go. We have previous three sessions also. Altogether, we'll have 15 winners of top three. All of them we will give away 200 USD vouchers in the cloud. You can use it for any kind of cloud resources. We have more than 210 services running in the cloud now. And Mr. Madhusudhan and then Yafikur, you guys are winning a discount on a web session delivered by LEARNIVO very soon. I think, Tawfiq Bhai, can you talk a little about that?
yes, Aminul Islam Bhai is here in one of our group, and I'm confirming another one, that is Madhusudhan. And maybe Mr. Madhusudhan actually joined today. Yeah. So for
yes, this is the first time I have joined actually.
Okay. So, Tawfiq Bhai, I was talking about the M3 initiative you have, what they are actually winning. Could you please give us a...
Okay, so I haven't find Mr. Madhusudhan. Is it spelled correctly? The name?
Yeah, that's correct. So
So,
only the surname is abbreviated as A. Yeah, but this is correct. I joined that group as well. I've sent a request for that group.
Yes.
Okay, so actually what I was expecting is that in this 4 and 5, what LEARNIVO is giving away is a discount on the forthcoming M3 session. And that will also be in the form of voucher. So that will be communicated by LEARNIVO. So thank you very, very much for your time, and especially to Naeem Bhai for this lovely sharing. And the video will be uploaded in LEARNIVO's YouTube channel. You can just find by LEARNIVO in YouTube. Also, the link was shared in chat box, so please feel free to join the YouTube channel as well. Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening. Thank you, Naeem Bhai. Thank you, LEARNIVO team. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.